All right, I am here with Sean McKenna, excited to talk to him about his deal that he got closed here recently. Joined the program earlier this year in January, and we worked through his 8 weeks. He ended up finding a deal and getting that deal closed, I believe, about 6 weeks into the program, and ended up being a 100% finance deal, which, and it was an internet deal, so we're always excited about those because it's you have to get a little creative to pull those off. So I want to pull Sean in and start off by just asking you, Sean, when it's a big deal, you're thinking about buying a business, what got you thinking about buying a business as opposed to what most people think about when they think about this stuff? It's like, okay, if I'm going to go into business, I'm going to start a business from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely thought, at first when I decided I wanted to own a business, that the only thing to do was to start a business. And in order to start a business, you had to go through, 2 or 3 years of having no money and no extra time and, all of these just terrible things, and pay your dues before you can actually have a successful business.
Very cool.
And so that was my first thought in that. And then I was actually listening to an interview that Ace did, and he explained that he bought businesses, and he talked about the prices of these businesses were well under 500,000. And to me, that was I was like, oh my gosh, you can do that? I had no idea that you could buy a business for less than a few $1,000,000, because that's all you hear about in the news, businesses selling for millions. So that was kind of like a turning point, and I was like, wow, that means I can actually buy a business that's already successful and already has, process in place, and, just sort of hit the ground running with it. And that's really what intrigued me about it, because, I did not want to spend those, 3 years, slogging away for 20 hours a day. I'm,
Yeah. And a lot of people really don't know that it's even an option. I'm amazed when I talk to people, every day. Just what, I can really buy a profitable business? Aren't they? Who would want to sell a profitable business? Just all of these kind of questions come up.
Exactly.
So you decide to join the program. Do you feel like we spent weekly, hourly calls together for about 6 weeks before we found your deal. We didn't even make it through the full program, but do you feel like you got value out of the time we spent together and the training and material we gave you and all of that? What did you get out of that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely hugely valuable. It's the best way I can describe it is, when I decided I wanted to buy a business, I also thought, okay, I want to hit the ground running and do it as quickly as I can. And the way to do that is find people who know what they're doing and get them to help you. And the opposite is try and do it all yourself. And to do it all yourself, you gotta try a bunch of times and fail a bunch of times, and then you might figure out to know what the heck you're doing. And talking with Ace every week, he clearly knows what he's doing, and I can ask him all my specific questions on my doubts about the process or what happens in this case, and etc. So it was just being able to have that person that you can just ask questions to, regardless of the sort of information he gave on his own, is it's a huge benefit. And
awesome.
Let me add
so
that.
Last question.
Just trying to do research on the internet or reading books or whatever on my own about buying businesses is so difficult. Because it's like on one hand, a lot of the information is about mergers and acquisitions, which is like millions and millions of dollars, JP Morgan kind of things. And that's not the world we're in at all. And the other
Yeah.
side of it is you just get this overly generic information that it doesn't really help you at all. And there's
Yeah.
really this like void of information. And I think that's sort of what AC talk about a lot in your sort of angle and finding these good deals. And then there's not a lot of people that buy businesses that are worth 100,000 or 200,000.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'll add to that is it's definitely not all me that deserves the credit. A lot of it is because of the guys like Sean all over the country that are going out there trying the strategies that we use and then giving us feedback, in each area of the deal when it comes to finding the business, when it comes to doing due diligence, that we've had things where somebody across the country finds something wrong with a particular industry or some risk factor that literally, we had a guy in California that was buying a similar deal to somebody in Portland, and they were able to find something about that industry that ended up changing the guy in California's mind. And so when you have that network effect, it really helps everybody. So the final thing is, I mentioned at the beginning of this that we're able to get you 100% financing, and of course that does not mean getting a free deal, but I guess just to be able to attest to the fact that that is a possibility for people. I'll ask you, you ended up buying an internet business, and how much money did you have to write a check for personally out of your cash account to get that deal done?
Yeah, after the financing went through, I mean, I was out no money personally.
I like
And
that. I wasn't out no money. That's going
yeah.
to be like the quote of the day. So that's neat. It still requires work. This whole process requires work once you buy the business. Sean and I just got done with the strategy call on kind of some of the things that he's doing to improve the business and do that work. So, I'm far from being the person that says that, hey, this is some kind of get rich quick, instantly type of scheme. But the real point is there's real opportunity. We're seeing more opportunities than ever before that are coming to the market because there's a flood of internet deals, and we've got the baby boomers that are selling their businesses. So it's a really neat time to be in this space. And working with Sean and getting his deal done is why I do this. I mean, I just can't imagine not being able to work with guys like Sean. So it's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to doing everything I can to help you grow the business that you bought. And we're even talking about maybe buying another one, so that'll be fun as well. Sean, thank you
Yeah,
for your time, and I really appreciate you taking the time to make this video.
sure. Welcome. Happy to.